So I wanted to ask about oil prices.
Sure.
They're already at about $111 or so a barrel. Pelosi has come out also in support of banning Russian oil. So why keep the carve out? Especially when oil, with the argument that Putin is going to not benefit from oil. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I think I do know what you're trying to say. Well, our objective and the president's objective has been to maximize impact on President Putin and Russia while minimizing impact to us and our allies and partners. And I know you've heard me say this a few times before, but we don't have a strategic interest in reducing the global supply of energy. And that would raise prices at the gas pump for the American people around the world because it would reduce the supply available. And it's as simple as less supply raises prices. And that is certainly a big factor for the president in this at this moment. It also has the potential to pad the pockets of President Putin, which is exactly what we are not trying to do. So as the president has said, we carved out payments for energy, trade, and transport from our financial sectors sanctions with that in mind. I would also note that we have been taking steps to degrade Russia's status as a leading energy supplier over time. That includes, of course, shutting down Nord Stream 2 or preventing Nord Stream 2 from operating. That's why we're surging LNG to Europe to help accelerate its diversification from Russian gas. And I think you've also seen European leaders talk about the need to reduce their reliance and to diversify. And we are continuing to look at other options we could take right now to cut U.S. consumption of Russian energy. I mean, for us, if you look at publicly available data, it's only about 10% of our imports. But again, reducing the supply out there would have an impact on prices and on prices at the gas pump.
I guess the question is, if oil is already so expensive, isn't he already benefiting from an already costly, price of oil? How does he stand to benefit if you continue to allow that?
If it reduces further, it makes it more expensive. So I think we look at it through that prism. Go ahead.
On the cost of this, I mean, the president has sort of braced American people for this, right? He's said that defending democracy and liberty is never without a cost. So is it just that banning all Russian oil and gas imports, that's just a cost that he thinks is too much for the American people to bear?
Well, I think there's two different pieces here. Banning banning Russian imports, right? Or what he has done is carved out payments for energy, trade, and transport from our financial sanctions. They're slightly two different things. And the president, the volatility in the oil markets, as the president has been predicting and as you referenced, he talked about in the speech he gave last week, is a direct result of the fact that President Putin invaded Ukraine, and that has created volatility. One of the big reason, of course, that the president announced the release of of 30 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and the coordinated release is to address that and ensure we are doing what we can to put more in the marketplace. But again, his prism he looks at this through is how can we maximize impact on President Putin while minimizing it on the American people.